Attention listeners, this podcast is rated R. Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Lit Talkers podcast. I'm Holly.
I'm Tara.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Cassie.
And today we're going to be talking about buddy reads.
Hi, guys. So,
Okay, so before we kick off, I have a definition of buddy read. It is from bookish.netgalley.com. It says buddy reads are popular in the book community. They allow you and your friend or friends to share in the experience of reading the same book together and discussing it. Basically, there are many book clubs with the flexibility of being one-off occurrences or regular activities.
very nice.
Love that. I love a good buddy read. It holds me accountable.
And we're hoping that this will be a regular occurrence for us.
Yes,
something
for
that we
sure.
can do every couple of months, just to be able to connect with you guys. You know, we have Instagram and Facebook, and obviously those are ways for us to connect with you guys too. But being able to actually like read a book with you guys and get your guys' opinion, honestly, this buddy read was so fun. Like probably the most fun I've had doing a buddy read.
So, for our first buddy read that we did over on the Fable app, you can look up the Lit Talkers podcast on there. We did Butcher and Blackbird by Bryne Weaver, which is the first book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. The book synopsis is: every serial killer needs a friend. Every game must have a winner. When a chance encounter sparks an unlikely bond between rival murderers Sloane and Rowan, the two find something elusive: the friendship of a like-minded, pitch-black soul. From small-town West Virginia to upscale California, from downtown Boston to rural Texas, the two hunters collide in an annual game of blood and suffering, one that pits them against the most dangerous monsters in the country. But as their friendship develops into something more, the restless ghosts left in their wake are only a few steps behind, ready to claim more than just their newfound love. Can Rowan and Sloane dig themselves out of a game of graves, or have they finally met their match? Dun, dun, dun.
So I had never read that synopsis before, and that's like super ominous.
Yes.
I feel like it makes it sound so much more serious than it actually is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I laughed
this
a
book was
lot.
goofy in a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So let's go around and say what we rated maybe this book at the end of the buddy read. Holly, if you want to start us off.
5 stars for sure. A big 5 stars, 10 out of 10. 2 thumbs up would recommend.
That was something else. Okay, Tara.
I haven't rated it yet.
Cassie.
What? On the fly. Spit it out.
What?
Come on.
So can I do a pet peeve about you, Cassie? I hate when you mark books read on Goodreads and doesn't do a fucking rating. It pisses my soul off.
So sometimes I do it because I'm afraid that you're going to be pissed off at when I read certain books.
Me? Oh no,
Bro. I thought
Am I the problem?
No. I don't mean it like
we
that.
do it because we're afraid
Sometimes
of
I'm
Jen.
like, oh God, I don't want Jen to know what I'm going to rate this book.
Okay, go ahead. What?
Well-
Now I'm going on your Goodreads. Okay, what did you rate Butcher and Blackbird, Cass?
I have it, a 4.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine. Fair.
Why are you cowering in the corner?
Yeah, I
gave
wouldn't
it a
hit
4.
you unless you
Yeah.
said 2.
Oh, if you gave it a 1 or 2, I'd go over there and bop you right in the forehead.
Okay, so
So this is why she's afraid to rate her books.
yes, I don't
Hey,
want to
buddy
be beaten
readers,
to
don't be
death.
discouraged,
Okay.
You might
though.
like it.
I mean, I might, but I'd be dead, so we might not ever know. But I
Depends on the
don't.
beating, I guess.
I don't know. I didn't connect with.
Well, we're not serial killers.
But
You're not
no.
supposed to connect.
But I mean, like, I didn't. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I wasn't drawn in to the point
weren't
where I
immersed
was
in-
like, yeah, like I had no problem picking up the book and setting it right back down. Like, it wasn't something like I was excited to read it, and for the most part I kept up with the buddy read, which y'all know me, I'm good in the beginning and then I fall behind and like fall off at the end.
Okay.
I do.
I have a bone to pick with you. In Fable the app, you seem really into it.
What did you?
Okay.
What did
So
you
it
rate
wasn't
the book
that I
in?
wasn't into it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Pause.
What did you rate the book?
I
in?
rated it a 5.
I rated it a 4.
So why
like
did
a
you
strong,
rate it a 4?
like a strong 4 for you guys, or like a 4 point?
Yeah, I mean, it was almost like a 4.5. Like,
So a strong 4.
yeah. And it wasn't because I didn't like the
4.37.
book. I just...
For you?
No, her.
Oh.
That's what we're
So
gonna say.
my rating is with Sloane mainly.
Yeah.
she was hard for me
It's
too.
that strong female character that's
not
weak little bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Like they gave her, I'm this big like serial killer.
I'm bowing out.
Basically, this book is about serial killers.
We talked about this on Fable.
Yeah, and I think
They're delulu.
while they can have issues, but like no, she's literally like some sort of like tech scientist person in her day to day, who is also some secret like web serial killer person. And then she's like, does he like me? Does he not? Oh no, I don't know. He's not giving me the signs. And I just think that like, as someone who in the very first chapter, she's like, oh, he's hot. And then literally like for the 3 pages, she's like, yeah, we have some good banter back and forth. And she's like, given him like that she doesn't like that, but you can clearly see where it's going. And then, you know, you get halfway through the book and she's still kind of like, I don't know what all this is about. And it's frustrating.
I also don't like that I called that shit. I knew exactly when something bad was going to happen, and I was pissed about it, okay?
But you also thought it was going to be, oh, she's kidnapped.
No.
Like, yeah,
I thought they were going to break up, or that she was going to get kidnapped.
Well,
and then guess what? They, quote-unquote, broke up.
They broke up because he saved
I
her life.
understand. I'm not saying that it wasn't an okay breakup.
Oh, no, Jen, she knew exactly
I don't think
what
it was an
gonna
okay breakup.
Well, I'm just fucking stupid, I guess.
Because
at
all
this
he
point.
said was, you need to send her home.
Yeah.
Like, why would you tell her to move back to her home when he still knows, like, when the person... And I don't want to ruin it.
And, like, he gave her... Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it.
We
he
may have
literally
already.
breaks her heart because
but-
he thinks he's gonna die.
Right.
But also, like, you're a big, burly, scary serial killer.
And David eats
And you think you're going to
humans.
die? Well, but they
Okay,
already killed
he's-
one of those people.
He's not invincible, as we've seen, and neither is she. In the
Yeah, it's not like
beginning,
they're-
he
yeah.
basically had to rescue her because she was like
Hold on,
trapped
but
in
that
this.
was like happenstance. Like, it's so explained as like that's just a happenstance, and then they use the same thing that happens in like the first scene happen again later, and then she's having to get saved again when all this
That
time
is
prior
true.
to him, like she never needed it. And by all, I mean,
When she was in
not
that
to
house.
say anything super negative, I enjoyed the story. I had a lot of fun with it, but I couldn't give it 5 stars because one, she doesn't need to be saved by the guy, or she shouldn't need to be. And then they completely build up this strong feminine character, and then they literally knock her down and make her have to be saved by the guy.
But then sometimes she saves him. Like, she saved him during that dinner party. He would have been, eaten.
Well, yeah, and she could have saved him a
He
lot.
saves her twice and she saves him
better.
twice. Just FYI.
Oh, because she saves him.
From David.
Yes. Okay, yep.
So he saves her in
Fucking
the very
David,
beginning.
bro.
Saves her again when she's with that one girl underneath the cellar or whatever the fuck it was.
Yep.
And then she saves him from eating literal humans. Or no, she picks the
She tries
meat
to.
out of his mouth and saves him that way. And then she saves him from David.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I think it was okay. So I know we talk about, like, in the Allie Hazelwood books, that we hate a strong woman that is also weak. But I don't even think in the Allie Hazelwood books that they are portrayed as strong. I think they are like, oh, they're supposed to be, and they're smart. But like Sloane, I know that she questions
She's
his.
supposed to be smart and strong, and she still has those
But
characteristics.
she can also be insecure, and she also has this family trauma that makes her believe that, like, she can't be loved or she's not important. So we all, like, we're all strong women, but I think we might have that issue as well.
I also feel like
So-
we were missing some of that backstory. Like,
Yeah.
we got bits and pieces. Like, specifically, like, we found out what happened to Lark and, like, obviously how this whole thing started with Sloane. But
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't get the whole story with her parents.
Yeah.
And, like, they were
No.
talked about pretty frequently. But, like, did she just have parents that didn't give a shit? Or, like,
I feel
was
like
there something more serious going on there?
3 chapters out of this book, somebody said, oh, you don't need that. Let's publish without it. Because I
Yeah.
feel like it was there because it was mentioned so much.
Mhm.
And then somebody said, oh, take it away.
Also, like, her job. They never go into real specifics about what she does, how she's able to work this schedule and also kill people. It's just always
Yeah.
like, oh, so casual.
And, like, who
They
could
explain
take time
what he
off,
does
like, at the
and
drop
his
of a hat?
backstory and his restaurant, but it's she's always like, she's kind of like on the back burner as far as the
So there
backstory
were a
goes.
lot of things missing, and you agree that there were things missing, but you still gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5 because of the joy that it brought me. Because I did not care about the backstory. Those are the little details. I fell in love with Rowan and his banter and his, like, I could just see this the whole time in such vivid detail. They were both amazing. They were both amazing characters. The sex was great. The D was fire. It was.
Can't bring me down. I'm on high.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Cassie, you can't bring me down.
what
I'm
we
high
have
right now.
learned is that Holly and Jen read for fun, and Tara and Cassie do not read for fun.
So I think it depends on the book.
I feel like you're making that very, very like
That's a blanket
small.
statement.
Yeah, you're making that very small. Where like, I think sometimes we go into books and we just go in not expecting anything. And
Didn't somebody say the other day when they were listening to our podcast, I think some of you find reasons not to like a book.
Oh my God.
And Cassie said, is one of them me? And he said, yes, one of them is you,
who said that?
our
Oh.
friend. So I'm just going to say
Yeah,
that
it
he
was
did
me.
call her out on that. He was like, he didn't say the other people, but he's
But
like,
that's
some of you
not- I
find
mean, you've
reasons
called
not
people-
to like books.
you've
I
called-
gave
you
Done and
also have
Dusted
called-
5 stars. You're
But
right.
you've
I have.
also have called people out about that too.
That's
You've
we
called
ha-
me
have
out
talked-
about that.
We
So
have
I'm a
talked shit
hypocrite.
about that, and honestly,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and so I feel like sometimes, you know, how I feel is reading is subjective.
Yeah,
I will
it is.
continuously say that. But also, I feel like sometimes you guys are picking up like needles out of a haystack, and you guys are using them to like say, and that's not, and I'm not saying that's how you guys are, but I'm saying how some people are. It's like, look at me. I'm not this kind of girl who gave it 5
No.
stars. I'm different.
The pick me girl.
So
But
for
that's
me though,
not...
the reason it was 4 stars.
And you've had this consistent problem, Tara.
I've had this
Yes.
consistent
Yeah.
problem, but for me, the reason it
Fair.
was 4 stars is because up until like, I don't feel that she necessarily grew,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
even at the very end.
Yeah.
Her things were, she was, I don't want to say that Rowan became complacent. He was giving her things that she needed, which I think was great. Like, he's a
Mhm.
great
Mhm.
person.
And I think he
in this
grew.
book, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like her character was
He grew a
kind
lot,
of
if you get
the
what I'm saying.
same. Like, because I don't think that in the very end that I should have to be like, hey, he's calling her out for her shit at like chapter 25 when you have
Yeah.
29 chapters.
Yeah.
That's where I was. And while, you know, whatever is going to come to be comes to be, I just think that for me, I don't like when if you start off with a weaker character and then they grow into some strengths, I'm like, okay, I'm going to give this book 5 stars. You had that character development.
Yes.
As long as you don't backtrack on it.
Yeah.
In this one, she started off super strong, and then it's like she kind of got weaker as the story went.
So I feel like she started off weak because she was kidnapped. She got kidnapped.
Well, I
in
mean,
the
she made a
beginning.
mistake. She didn't get kidnapped. She went there to kill him.
And she did.
Like, he just happened to overpower her before.
It wasn't
She
even,
could kill
it was
him, and
like
she was
literally
stuck.
the gate is so basically she's found in a cage in a house, and basically what happens is she goes and she's like, I'm gonna stab you with your knife, and he kicks her at the same time that he's dropping a gate to trap her as the knife is stuck in him. So she gets kicked back once and the gate is dropped,
Yeah.
and he's dead. So
That's what happens.
to me.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
okay, you're saying she started off strong. She still had to be rescued in the beginning.
Well, she
She
did,
got rescued.
but to
Yeah.
me, her way of getting into that situation is not as stupid as another situation where she gets kicked. And literally, it's like, why would you run out of the door? You're fucking stupid. Like, you know you're in a house with somebody trying to hunt you down. Why would you just run out of a door blind? It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Whereas in the beginning instance, it's like, oh, that's explained.
I think we talked about also too the Texas Chainsaw, like that scene kind of skipped where she like was attacked
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
like just was suddenly
all of
like,
a sudden she was
off
rolling
of a
down the
roof
hill.
or something.
Yeah.
That one I
Probably
think
blacked out.
that's what I was
Maybe.
thinking.
Yeah,
is,
I think
like,
you said that
she
too.
it was alluded to that like maybe she was like unconscious or something.
Well, then
And
they
then
sort
kind
of
of, like,
said,
woke back
and then
up.
everything went black. and then
Yeah.
everything went dark. But it was just like he attacked me, and then it was like, now I'm rolling down a hill.
Well,
Like it
she
just
said, like,
was
my
not...
eyes closed, and then it was a new paragraph, and it says, when my eyes open, I'm rolling down a hill.
Well,
she was also in a
more
house.
clarity,
I want to
I'm
make
not
sure. I want to
Yes,
make sure that
exactly.
I want to make sure our listeners understand that 4 is still a good rating. It's not
Yes,
that
100%. We
It's
still
just-
enjoyed the book.
Yeah, it's
There were just things that, like, for me, it was that I kind of felt like if I wasn't anxious to pick it back up again. Like, there were moments where I was anxious to pick it back up again because the buddy read, like, left off and kind of, like,
Yeah.
chapters that were big cliffhangers. But
so you wouldn't read this by yourself, is what you're saying. You would DNF'd it.
No. Yeah, I probably...
I would have finished it.
No,
What?
but... No.
You-
Because
If you didn't want to pick it back up, that
Something-
gives me a DNF mentality.
not
Doesn't
necessarily,
mine?
because if it was something I would have DNF'd, it would have been a 2-star. Like, those are books that I would have DNF'd. Like, if I give a book 2
Interesting.
stars, I've read it for some crazy reason, usually book club, and I didn't enjoy it.
So you would not have DNF'd it. You would
No,
have
I would have kept going, but I would not
It would take
have...
you a while.
Yeah, I'd have
Yeah.
been 2 months into reading this book, which
Yeah.
happens
See,
with me
that's
sometimes.
Just for me, I'm just like, I'd DNF it at that point.
Oh,
I don't.
I love this shit.
Just because, like, where I'm a mood reader, like...
No, I get it,
If
yeah.
I DNF every single book. If I DNF books, it took me 2 months to read. Like,
Listen, everybody, Holly and Jenna are over here salty AF that Cassie and I rated this
just
book
watched
4
you
stars.
guys.
it just made me
I
feel
feel like
They're so salty right now.
I just feel like every time we read a book, and this is fine because reading is subjective. It's like this thing that you
But
guys
we
are
all
picking.
gave
or
Done and
not just
Dusted 5
picking.
stars.
I picked apart everyone in my family has killed
You
someone.
did.
I really did.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like sometimes like it gets into this thing that I don't think any of us have consistently liked a book.
Done and Dusted. We all
all
gave Done and Dusted 5
yeah.
stars.
Okay.
We did.
Did we?
Yes.
Did I give it 5 stars?
You did.
I
I
You
think
did.
so.
I think for me,
If not, you need to bump it up because you talk about that shit daily.
I do love that book. It's just hard for me to rate a romance.
It's hard
5 stars.
too to sit here and have a discussion on a book that you feel so passionate about, or not passionate, but,
But
you
yeah,
like
that's
so much,
the
and that's
proper word.
fine. Yeah, yeah,
but I
4
really
stars.
enjoyed it.
yeah.
I think you said you
given
gave it
4
5 in the
stars?
podcast.
4 stars. I
Why?
don't rate romances 5 stars normally. This to me was not a romance. This was like thriller, smut, funny. It was a great, okay, Done and Dusted was great, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I worship this book. Like this book, Butcher and Blackbird is probably my favorite of the year so far. I loved it so much. And like you say, reading is subjective.
It is just subjective.
Music, I feel that same way about music. I'll always say about music, whatever makes me feel something, no matter what anybody else thinks about it. And this book just made me feel so many things.
And
It was just very like, it wasn't like a one-note romance. It was very complex. There were a lot of moving parts to
That's fair.
it.
I think what
There was-
bothers me
it
the
was
most
so funny.
with y'all's writing is you guys have so much shit to say about it. It should have been lower for me. If I have that much shit to bitch about, it's not a 4 star for
Yeah,
me.
where's your pro and
my
cons
literal
list?
thing is just that she
Just
didn't
Sloan.
Yeah.
grow,
Yours, I'm
and
saying
then
yours.
I listed the
you
reasons
you
why.
list off like a ton of different reasons. And you gave it a 4.
It's because you put her on the spot and she's like, I give it a 4.
No, but I did.
So
I
I'm just
really
saying, like,
did
if I
enjoy
had
the
that much to
book.
say about it. That's why that one got 3 stars, or
Yeah.
that everyone in my family has killed someone. I had a lot to pick about.
I really don't have a lot to pick at. It's just like at the end, I was like, "Oh, look, this again." Like I'm not
I feel
gonna,
that.
I can't give it 5 stars because of her character, and it's because it's that same thing.
Okay, so, like, coming away from it a little bit, will you read the next one?
Oh,
Hell
Red and White,
yeah.
Yeah. So I feel the
Leather
same
like it.
way because I feel like those characters are more similar to, like, Gus and Teddy.
Uh-huh.
Those,
Yeah.
like, rivals that, you know,
I don't get that feel.
you
I
don't
got-
get that feel.
I mean, kind of, not really.
They
I-
act like
England
they
is
can't
already
stand
coming
each
into
other.
it like, I don't want to help this girl.
right, but
Like,
he's
Yeah.
a grumpy guy anyway. Point blank period with any women, because isn't he the one that had the he's a doctor, right?
No.
No. that's the youngest
the other
brother.
one. I hope they get a book.
Yeah,
That one
I'm
was
sure
just
they
Oh my
will.
God, what was her name?
Rose.
Oh,
Rose.
Rose.
Oh,
She
I was
loved
a
her. She
hoot.
was a
I
whole ass
loved
vibe.
Rose.
No, I'm not, and I don't want anyone to say like, "Oh, Jennifer's gonna argue." I'm just saying like, I got hers because yours has been consistent, Tora. Yours has been consistent with Actar. It's been consistent with a lot of your different. You sat there was like pick 4 stars, and I was like, "What?"
But just because I mean, first of all, I mentioned like 2 things. I agreed with Tara on the whole
Yes.
like girl situation.
Uh-huh.
And then I felt like we were lacking backstory still. And then there was that one scene where she like randomly
That's
fell
3.
out of
Keep
a
going.
house.
That's 3.
What else have I complained about?
So
hold on, I have to rethink. Now you put me on the
Oh,
spot.
we're on Fable, though.
Feels good, doesn't it?
for our first buddy read,
Yes.
we had 11 people, so 6 or 7 additional people
Yeah.
buddy read with us,
Mhm.
which thank you guys so much because
Mhm.
I loved that
The
we were able
interaction.
to get the interaction that we did. Only 2 of the Lit Talkers made their review and put it on Fable.
Who was
and
the
then
Lit
we
Talkers
had
that made the review?
you and me.
Oh, cool.
And then there was 2
Hi,
of the
guys.
other people who rated it on Fable, left their rating on Fable.
Yeah.
Holly's looking at me like, you didn't say me.
No, it
Yours
wasn't
isn't
you.
on here. That's not my fault.
Goodreads.
Okay,
That's where I put
that's fine.
everything. I'm so sorry.
And so
I
like
did ask you at the end. Just saying.
another person rated this Butcher and Blackbird 5 stars, and then another person who read it with us rated it 3 stars.
Yeah, well.
And so I think that you can just like this book is definitely going to be fantastic for some people, pretty good for some people, and mediocre. I think it's just one of those. Like you're not going to have a straight, it's nothing or everything.
Yeah.
Because it is very complex and the story in it is dealing with a lot of dark things.
It's different, too.
while the book itself is kind of lighthearted.
Yep.
I feel like Jen wants to hit me, so I feel like I should like scoot closer to her so she can hit me.
I promise I'm fine. For me though, I'm just like I guess it's just getting out of my own head with it. Is that if really I sat here and I
think
had
what it-
so much, I would not have rated it that high.
I
And
think
that's my
that what it
personal
comes down
opinion.
to is that our rating system is different.
Exactly. That's
Yep.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Personal opinion. So like that's why reading is subjective, but like it's hard to sit here with your own opinion
Yeah.
and have your own tier system, and then you have
Yeah.
your own tier system, and I'm like, why did you rate it a 4 if you know what I mean?
Mhm.
If you really didn't like it as much,
Yeah.
and then so it's just different, but that's because that's what makes reading so fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's what
you're-
makes it so fun.
You're right in your opinion, but you're also wrong. So
I mean,
I'm
I
right
didn't
in my
say it.
opinion in
Holly,
my own
why
head.
did you rate it 5
Your feelings
stars?
are valid. I'm not saying
I
they're
rated
not
it
valid.
5 because it was amazing. Everything about it was good. There wasn't one thing that I didn't like
there
about
was-
this
yeah.
book. Like I thought the twist with David being crazy was cool.
That was good.
I
I
thought
didn't
the
see
whole
that coming
cannibal
at
scene
all.
was hilarious.
The ice cream.
The ice cream was the
smut was
the
so
smut
good.
was amazing. It took a minute to get there, but then once it got there,
You were like, bam,
there
bam,
was
bam,
a lot,
bam.
and
Yeah.
it was so fucking good.
It was hot.
Their banter was amazing. It was hilarious. The side characters were great.
I
What
do
you
wanna
have to
say-
I was
say,
just
Tara?
gonna say, did anybody else have to go like read what her piercings were?
Yes,
Because there was a couple I had no idea what were, and I was
one-
like, let me go look at what's
I
a
know.
war
one-
check.
I
the
figured they
one
were
that's
all
between her
vagina people.
butthole
They
and her
are.
vagina. That one
Yeah.
that's like a hook or whatever. I was like,
the
I had-
butthole to the vagina.
there's a piercing she has in between the
bottom one.
butthole
But
and
it's
the
more
vagina.
of a like for his pleasure
It's
than
more
for her
his
pleasure situation.
I had to look up the pictures on Google to see what
I
the
did
fuck.
too.
I looked at so many vaginas that day.
So I'm
be
just
like,
glad because
What?
oh, good
where
for you.
we-
I mean, whatever.
where
Sorry.
we have a common link. We have a common Gmail on all of our phones.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes if you go to look something up on Google, it will give you like suggestions of what other people have looked up.
oh
Oh no, that's not good.
I'm sitting there and I'm
Careful when
looking
you
this up, and
Google.
I was like, man, I know we are all doing this buddy read, but like, what if they're like, oh, Tara's really dumb and went and looked this up?
No.
Like, who's the dumb one in the group?
No, I would have
Because
been like,
didn't
is
know.
Tara
How
gonna
do
go
you
to the
walk
piercing
out?
shop? Is she about to go wild?
How do we
No,
walk out of that?
I needed to know how.
Don't ask me.
You can't be logged into it.
I've never noticed.
I don't
it
pay
before.
attention to it, and I think
I
we all
don't
have our
either.
other ones, so it doesn't like
Really
connect it
affect things.
super
I don't have Gmail
crazy.
except for Lit Talker.
Yeah.
But
it
so
doesn't
if it ever gives you like suggestions, it's something that one of us have looked
Sorry.
up. So just know we're all a little crazy. But I literally had
Don't
to go
look up
this
like
girl's
how to kill your podcast members and
Vaginal.
then profit off it to get rich.
I had to go look up these,
I did
and I'm
too.
looking at like diagrams of it because I'm trying to figure out like they're talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, it's all sexy," and I'm like, "Is it?" I don't know.
I didn't need specifics. I was like, she has a vagina, and I know what those are.
No, they
and
told me
they're
there was like
somewhere on
7
there.
of them down there, and
she
I'm
has
like,
a ton of
"What?"
piercings
Yeah,
down there.
there's a lot.
There's a
Well,
lot.
yeah, they're all on a vagina. I don't need
Yes.
specifics.
I
I
knew
needed to
what I knew
understand.
what multiple of them were, and then that one though that really got me was the one that I had to look up, and I looked at the picture and I was like, "Wow, that looks like it hurt."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I
feel
was
like
like,
any of those
and
would
then I
look
was
like they
like, okay,
hurt.
my vagina hurts now, so
Yeah.
cool.
And I feel like some of those would be like hard to keep clean.
right, I think of like cleaning,
Especially
and then I think of
their
like
line of work. Like
Yeah.
some of these are
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
and then like
lot of
sexual
maintenance.
partners. I think of that if they're clean in the piercing, and it was okay. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm not gonna get too much into it, but I had to go look it up because I
Mhm.
was a little confused
I did
because
too.
there were so many described.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I'm like, they're talking about them being rings, and I'm like, well, how are there that many rings down there?
oh, you Google it because they're
Because I
I
saw
looked
some
at-
that like weren't
Yeah,
rings
no.
on the diagram. So
Next
like,
time I need you to take
A
screenshots
screenshot
and
and
share
put
them
it-
in the group chat.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Just in case
I
you were
sure will.
curious.
Do the homework for Holly, please, because she's not
okay,
going to do
I
it.
was
on
like,
her
I
own.
was,
I was
like,
very,
I'm
like,
looking at
wow.
vagina piercings at 3 a.m. And my husband's like, why didn't you, where were you last night? And I'm like, well, I'm sitting on the couch trying to finish this buddy read and trying to do some research on it because.
I do appreciate that she figured out Rowan's whole thing.
so.
I don't want to spoil
Do you
too much.
consider that a third act breakup?
So
'Cause I did not.
No. At the end of the day, no.
Okay.
I do consider it in the fact that like I knew it was coming, like I knew something was coming. And just because she's not the one that got kidnapped doesn't mean that I was wrong, okay? Anyways,
Okay.
moving on.
I mean, but it is
Okay,
still
girl.
wrong. But
But
yeah.
no, I don't because it wasn't
You're
wasn't
so smart,
like that.
Cassie.
But I think that's the same way that you didn't consider the breakup in that hockey romance
Yeah.
to be a third act breakup, but I did consider
Because
it
it
a third
wasn't,
act breakup.
it's not a third act breakup.
It's a
to-
third person breakup.
Well, we didn't read the book, so me and Tara have no idea what you're talking about.
You're not.
No.
It was basically the same thing.
We're not
was,
what? We're
it
not
was-
what?
no,
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 it
it was
was
a
probably never
part
going
of
to
the
read
special
it.
group.
I was going to say you're probably never going to read
Yeah.
it, so I'll tell you what happened.
It was an L. Kennedy book.
But somebody around my.
Well, okay, we're talking about the deal. Don't listen if you're going to read it. So basically the same thing happens where it's like,
Oh, he gets
It's not
kidnapped
the
and she has to
same.
save him?
No, it's
no,
not
it's,
the same.
it's a whole ultimatum. It's like, you have to leave. The dad is like, you have to break up with my son because he's spending too much time with
And
you.
he's not going to get
And
his
if
inheritance.
you don't break up with him, then I'm going to pull his scholarships and I'm going to pull his schooling and you're going to ruin his life. And and then he sees right through it very quickly. And so it's
But
kind of the
she
same thing.
doesn't.
It's like, yeah,
she's
she
stupid.
has to do it to save him in just like a less
Yeah.
insane way.
Okay.
So.
Why are you
that
looking at me like that?
scene
Nothing.
Made me
I was fine. I'm over
weird
here sitting.
because
Leave me
she
alone.
walked in and she was like, something's eerie in here.
Mm.
And
then she still
was
was
like, oh my God. And like, oh, he's serious. Like, that was her first thing. And I'm like, you literally went in there and you were like, something's not right. Something's weird. I just don't know how you have those feelings. And then for somebody who, because I don't want to spoil it, but I just, like, it's
if you
weird.
haven't,
At this
if you
point-
haven't read the
Spoiled.
book, it's already
Then you
spoiled.
shouldn't be
Go ahead
reading
and
But so
ahead.
basically, like, he literally just got done showing her that he made his whole second restaurant after her and like decorated it for her and made a booth for her. And he did all of this stuff to show her that she is special.
Yep.
And then, she's finally there and she's going to take his word when she walks in and is already feeling like something's off, like he's not in a cheery mood. Like, there's no way he's going to send you home like that. Like, there's no way he's going to turn you away like that. There's no way. It was the almost stupidest way to try and get rid of somebody unless you were trying to tell them something else, which was the whole thing.
I think it just preyed so much on her insecurity.
Yeah.
Like, she was already
I do agree
feeling
with
so
that.
unlovable, and then he's like,
Well, because they'd gotten into
fuck
that like
you.
fight that morning where she was like, I just need to get over myself. Like, I'm in my own head. And then to walk in to like him being like mad or pissed off at her, I think that she thought that morning like extended through the day for him.
and Lark
like,
really had to talk her out of it and be like, are you sure that was
well,
him?
that was like that conversation with Lark.
Yeah.
And like, I understand that sometimes I have to talk through things before I
Mhm.
figure something out.
Yep.
But I did appreciate that she at least like figured it out. Like,
Yeah.
she
But
didn't
then
leave
she
him there
was
to die.
mad at him afterwards. And I'm like, so you figured out that he told you all this to try
Yeah.
and give you clues as to what was going on.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like if my husband,
Oh,
which I
I'm
know they were
mad and
just
I don't
dating, but I
trust
feel like
you
if
all
my
the way
husband
now.
almost died, even if I was mad at him, the first thing I would do would be like help him Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, even if I'm pissed off at you, like,
Those
I'm still
words
gonna
just
like
hurt so bad. I'm one
I
where
don't
like
know.
I remember things forever, and the fact that he was just like, "You're a psycho and you don't belong here, and I don't love you, and go back to where you belong." Especially if I'm feeling some way about those things, like. I know that he didn't do it on purpose, but he still did prey on those insecurities to get what he wanted, even though it wasn't his choice. I don't know.
He was
Like,
trying to save her life.
I forget.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever say anything cross or like real mean to me, I'm never gonna forget that shit, and that will always stay in my brain. So
Don't be mean to Holly, guys.
So-
She can't take it.
I really can. I'm a sensitive little flower.
Leather and Lark comes out June 4th.
Yes, I'm going to like read that the fucking day it comes out. I swear to God. Swear.
And I'm excited for the second one.
Me too.
Are
I don't
you?
know if I'm going to jump right into it, but I'm actually very excited. I really enjoyed this little story. I thought it was really fun.
We could do a buddy read.
No.
I thought that it was.
We already have a June Betty read. We're getting
Oh,
ready to.
We're not picking as a buddy read anyway. They're not very number for read again.
She's done. She's mad.
You're
No, I'm
dead.
just joking.
You're dead.
No, but it comes out in June, and we already have, and that's what we're rolling into. Is we have a June buddy read.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing this one a little bit differently because we want you guys to have a say in like what we read, and we want you guys to kind of like pick it with us. So we each kind of selected a book. And
Do you
Tara's.
wanna throw out the theme for June?
Well, why don't you do it? Since
It's
you're-
Sapphic
Well, it's
lesbians.
Pride Month for
Yeah.
Pride, yeah.
for June. Yeah.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
the
book.
the buddy
the read.
read. Yes.
it's
Yes. Yes.
Sapphic.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I love Sapphic reads. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I read at least a Sapphic read every month.
I don't read that many. I've read a couple, but
Well, sorry.
I'm excited
I'm God's
to
favorite on
know.
this one.
Yeah, you
I
definitely
don't
are.
think I've ever read one besides Legends and Lattes. TBH.
I
Yeah.
love Sapphic, and I love anything Pride. So we're excited.
Yeah, we are really excited, and we each kind of picked a couple of books, and we each had a book get selected. So Tara's going to tell us a little bit about those books, and then I'll tell you where you can go to help us decide which one we're going to read.
Dun, dun,
Thanks, guys.
Take it away.
So
away, Tara.
the first choice we have for you guys is called She Gets the Girl by Rachel Lippincott and Alysone Derrick. And the description for this book is She's all that meets What If It's Us in the swoon-worthy, hate-to-love YA romantic comedy from #1 New York Times bestselling co-author of 5 Feet Apart, Rachel Lippincott, and debut writer Alysone Derrick. I didn't have to read that part. Sorry.
It's okay.
Alex Blackwood is a little bit headstrong with a dash of chaos and a whole lot of flirt. She knows how to get the girl. Keeping her, on the other hand, not so much. Molly Parker has everything in her life totally in control except for her complete awkwardness with just about anyone besides her mom. She knows she's in love with the impossibly cool Cora Myers. She just hasn't actually talked to her yet. Alex and Molly don't belong on the same planet, let alone the same college campus. But when Alex, fresh off a bad but hopefully not permanent breakup, discovers Molly's hidden crush as their paths cross the night before classes start, they realize they might have a common interest after all. Because maybe if Alex volunteers to help Molly learn how to get her dream girl to fall for her, she can prove to her ex that she's not a selfish flirt and that she's ready for an actual commitment.
So I want to point out that this was one of Jen's picks, and it is over 300 pages, and it's a YA romance, both of which she hates.
First off, it's 400 pages.
That's
Oh,
what I said. It's
well-
over 300 pages.
It has to be over 400 pages.
You don't like romances that are over 300 pages.
400 pages, Cassie. It's 400 pages.
I swear to God, it's 300, but okay. Well, this one is like 5 away from that, so
Jesus, I just.
it
Never
looks
mind.
good. It does look good. I am excited.
And also, yes, I am not YA, but honestly, I didn't even look at YA because it said college.
Oh, that's fair.
So I thought college was new adult.
That's fair. That is.
To be,
Yeah.
because when that's what did you see my face when she said college? Because I haven't read the synopsis. I just literally like anything sapphic. I
Yeah.
really is on my one to read for TV for Goodreads, and I didn't even know it was YA. You said college, and then you said YA in the beginning, and I was like, YA and college is not the same. YA for me is
No,
high school.
it's not.
Keep
You're
going, I'm sorry.
correct.
Yeah.
Try to
and
call me out, and you got like squashed.
basically it there.
I got like half of it right, okay?
So that one is called She Gets the Girl.
Is it really YA?
That's
Now
how
I'm
it is
pissed.
described as.
Maybe you should have done your research.
Fuck
Sorry.
you, Holly.
It says that on Goodreads, like literally one of the first things.
Let me see your
The
Goodreads.
YA.
the next book on our list is called Providence Girls by Morgan Dante. This synopsis is: love changes you, so do the outer gods. Now, alone in a cottage, Lavinia writes to the woman she loved. 15 years ago, middle-aged Lavinia Whately escapes her hilly Massachusetts town when the townsfolk decide to sacrifice her on Halloween. After almost dying in the woods, she's saved and housed by the stoic and mysterious Asenath Waite, or Azzy. On the coastal outskirts of East Providence, they start to fall in love. However, things change when Azzy, with her secret past and the strange scars on the side of her neck, begins to transform into an eldritch creature of the deep.
This was your pick, and it sounds
This was.
so good.
It does.
So this was kind of a funny pick, though, because I picked it to read, like, myself. And I was like, if I don't find anything else, then I'll send it to you guys. And then I sent the wrong one. And then when we were voting, Cassie sent the wrong one, this one
My
again.
bad, guys.
And you all voted on it. And I was like, oh, okay.
What was the
We'll
one
go
that
with
was
that one.
yours?
Something about a tea shop.
Oh,
that
you
one.
can't spell treason without T.
Yes.
That looks good too. It's pirates.
Yes. That's why I picked it. I love pirates.
Well, I'm glad you picked this one.
But this one sounds
Because
fun and interesting, too.
This one sounds perfect to
Damn.
me because it's all about like spooky, Halloween, love, 250 pages.
Wait, time
Yep.
out. Halloween?
It says they're trying to
was
sacrifice her on
sacrificed.
Halloween.
Oh.
Jen is not on her game today. I didn't know it was YA. What do you mean about Halloween? Like we didn't just read the description. Ow, my chest.
And
Honestly,
now we're
love
throwing
that.
things.
You're so dramatic.
I think I'm gonna need to go to the urgent care.
See ya.
Bye. Start walking.
Oh my god.
Will somebody read one of the others?
Yes.
Read that
Okay.
one.
So this one was my pick, and I'm going to tell you all about it. So it is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Malinda Lowe. And it says the book, it was about two women and they fell in love with each other. And then Lily asked the question that had taken root in her that was even now unfurling. It leaves and demanding to be shown the sun. Have you ever heard of such a thing? 17-year-old Lily, who can't remember exactly when the question took root, but the answer was in full bloom the moment she and Kathleen Miller walked under the flashing neon sign of a lesbian bar called the Telegraph Club. America in 1954 is not a safe place for two girls to fall in love, especially not in Chinatown. Red Scare paranoia threatens everyone, including Chinese Americans like Lily, with deportation looming over her father despite his hard-won citizenship. Lily and Kath risk everything to let their love see the light of day.
That one sounds really cute. I like that it takes place in Chinatown. Just off
and
the bat.
it's...
Historical fiction? Yeah, we
is.
know. We
You
know.
want me to read this one too?
And over 400 pages and YA.
It's not. What are you talking about?
This is 409 pages.
Oh, it's YA?
She literally said 17-year-old blah blah blah.
Don't know.
I don't have any problem with YAs.
Oh,
so
obviously not. I love that you just love talking about children in love.
Okay, so the next one was Holly's pick.
Holy shit.
I'm just
And,
being funny. Haha.
No
That was a
shock.
little jokey
it is
joke.
Dolly Parton because that's Holly for you.
Yes, I love
So-
Dolly, our Lord and Savior.
It is called Everytime You Hear That Song by Jenna Voris. And they say to never meet your idols, but they never said anything about upending your life for a quest designed by one. 17-year-old aspiring journalist Darren Purchase has been a lifelong country fan of music legend Declan Cecile, who's as famous for her classic hits as she is for her partnership with the songwriter McKinley Hooper. The same McKinley who mysteriously backed out of the limelight at the height of their career, never to be heard from again. Now, Declan's televised funeral marks the unveiling for her long-awaited time capsule, but when it's revealed to be empty, a long trail of scavenger hunt clues unfold, leading to a whopping cash prize for whoever finds the real capsule. Darren knows there's a story there, and she's going to be the one to break it, even if it means a spontaneous road trip with her co-worker Kendall. Flashback to 1963, where a young runaway Declan has her sights set on fame and glory as she claws her way to the top over The years that follow, it's McKinley's lyrics that help the rocket her to stardom. But as their relationship evolves beyond the professional, it threatens everything Deckley has worked for. What else will she sacrifice to hold on to her dreams? Told in alternating perspectives every time you hear that song is a queer coming-of-age story celebrating country music, complicated women, and living authentically. There's more to Deckley's story than Darren could ever have guessed, but the real story she has to tell is her own.
Can we take that one out?
Why?
Time hop is a trigger for me.
Okay.
Alternating.
But it's not a time hop.
It
I think it's
is.
just flashbacks.
That's okay. Time hop flashbacks. It's like one that I can't. My brain's too small. Because
But
it says
you-
it goes back and forth. What happened?
You liked that one, what was
Divine
that
Rivals?
one? No, in the apartment where they were time hopping. Didn't you read that one?
Oh, the 7-year slip.
yes.
Yeah.
I did say in my review though, it's typically not what I go for either.
Well,
Yeah.
and you read One Last Stop, which isn't that a time hop?
Not
It's
really.
a time loop,
It's a time loop.
which I don't like. But
Time loop for me, that was not a thing though until over halfway through the book. It's fine. I'm not saying that we should take it out. I need to learn to broaden my horizon.
well,
think
and
it's
maybe
got
doing
really
a buddy
good-
read and like consistently
Maybe.
talking about it will help you keep up with
Maybe.
it. Because I
Maybe.
know
I'm
that
just-
helps me
Maybe you'll
sometimes.
be like me where I'm like, I don't like fantasy, but I can read some fantasy. Maybe there are some exceptions
Maybe.
to the rule for
Maybe.
you.
So, and also like I need to get out of the way of my small mind and my small thinking.
It's not that you're.
This is what it's
I
all
mean, you're allowed to
about.
have
No,
things
I
that you
know,
like
yeah.
and dislike.
Right,
Like that doesn't
right.
mean that it's a small mind thing. Like
No.
But I will say all these are above a 4 on Goodreads. So
It's good to get out of your comfort zone, I guess
It
is a
is.
good.
Yeah.
Because this one has a 4.28.
No, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they're all above
Yeah.
a 4.
yeah,
on
they were
Goodreads.
all.
but it's
really
all
good
about what
picks,
the people
so.
want. So we're
Yep,
going to let
so
you all choose.
You guys are going to get to vote. There will be a poll up when this episode drops, and we may run it for a couple of days. But there will be a poll up on our Instagram stories. There will be one on Facebook where you can use different emojis to vote for the book. But we really want you guys to help us decide because these are all books that sound good to us and books that we're interested in reading.
We all picked one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So help us decide, even if it just comes down to you're voting for your favorite podcaster. My book's pretty great.
Oh my God, we can
sounding,
do like
so-
American Idol.
Well,
Like call in to vote for your favorite
okay, so I'll
singer.
start.
I'm not taking calls at this time. Sorry.
So I'll start.
Leave a
She gets the
message.
girl next because I'm not gonna end up winning.
Why not?
I don't know that. And you all don't take into account our perspectives or do. But I mean, we'll read anything. That's what
Yeah.
we're here for. So I don't want them to be like, oh, she didn't want to read this book, so I'm not going to vote for it. It's all about what you all want.
Yeah.
Oh, for me?
I'm honestly excited for all of
Anybody.
them.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
here to
Yeah.
read any of them.
They
I'm
all sound
cool
good
with
to
it.
me and my little sapphic heart, so I'm
Yeah.
good with it.
So make sure you vote. Make sure you
Yes.
download Fable because that's where we will be hosting the Buddy Reads.
Yep.
If you don't have it yet, go check out our previous one because I think you can still log in and see how that went.
And
Yep.
Fable is so easy to use, you guys.
Yes.
It's so accessible. I'm not a technology person, but the format of it was nice. I love that you can do the quotes. It's a great place to go
Yeah.
and read with us. So I love Fable. It's my new favorite.
And make sure that you're following us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, so that you guys get that opportunity and that chance to vote because that's important too.
Yep, exactly.
But I think that's everything for today, guys. So we'll see you guys again in 2 weeks.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.